This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined for the first time in a while by my
hmm
Ohara Davies. I think probably the first person I ever saw when Oscar took me to a fight night golden contract time ago when you fought Jeff Afori.
I
And look
remember.
here now, how are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. That was years ago. Me and you was both backstage. Was
Yeah,
that 2019? Something like
yeah,
that?
something like that.
Ages ago, man.
Been a long time pre-COVID, man.
hmm
How's things?
Things are good. Same old, same old. Haven't lost since you last saw me in the golden contract. Uh, number two now in the WBA. So now I'm just waiting on my shot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What is going on? Obviously, I saw that you fought in Dubai. I think it was a nice Friday evening. I put on my Instagram. No
hmm
better Friday evening than watching a boy
hmm
OD.
hmm
Since then, I know you fought sort of a couple times and whatever, but and then we obviously saw that the fight with Sandor Martin was ordered, then
Yeah.
Shakar Giasov, and then obviously they both pulled out. So where are you at now? What's the clarity like on your side of events?
So in Dubai, I was actually meant to fight Ishmael Barroso for the WBA gold. He pulled out the fight because his passport expired or some shit like that. So we came back, had a little outing in Leeds a couple of months ago just to get the cobwebs off. And then I believed it was going to be Sandor Martin next. Obviously, Sandor Martin being signed to Eddie Hearn, being signed to the guys up at Matchroom. Matchroom didn't want me on the show. So Matchroom, obviously, they said to him, you want to fight him, we're not going to bid for it. Fight him on a different platform. I don't think Sander Martin really wanted that because he's been doing good over at the Matchroom platform. So he don't really want to go off and fight elsewhere. Eddie Hearn don't want me on his shows because I say bad things about him all the time. I'm always cussing Eddie Hearn. I'm always saying that he's a tosser, he's a prick because he threw me under the bus. But at the end of the day, I was innocent. I was innocent, and those guys at Matchroom, they threw me under the bus. They didn't give a fuck about me, my life, or my boxing career. Tony Bellew, all of those people, they knew that I had never heard of the Hillsborough in my whole life. I never heard of the Hillsborough. And that tweet I sent up to Tommy Cole was nothing about Hillsborough. And Eddie Hearn threw me under the bus. So I would say fuck Eddie Hearn, fuck Matchroom, fuck all those guys, fuck my old team. Everyone that was on my old team, fuck those guys, because these guys don't give a fuck about me. So I don't give a fuck about them. Anyway, so after that happened, the other guy pulled out. That gave stuff. He
Shakram
pulled
Giasov.
out.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, he pulled out because he couldn't make weight. He said. So next in the line, it would have been Teofimo Lopez. I don't know what he's on or what he's doing right now. He had a good win the other day against against that guy. This name Camper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Teofimo Lopez had a good win against him. So I was looking forward to it. I was like, hell yeah, let's get this fight going. I'm texting the guys. I'm like, hell fucking yeah, let's get this fight going. Teofimo Lopez OD. But I think he's looking at his other options. So, the WBA have recently updated their list, and next in line is looking like Lewis Ritson.
Okay.
It's looking like he's next in line, and I'm not complaining because out of the bunch, that's the easiest fight, the easiest route to get a world title shot. I've never seen an easier route to get a world title shot in my entire boxing career. Go fight, like, come on, like, go fight this guy, Lewis Ritson. He went life and death with that Davis Jr. And like Davis Jr. is a complete bum. The guy's shit. He can't box to save his life. And if Lewis Rinson's going life and death with him, he stands no chance in hell against me. So, it's been a long road, but I'm not complaining. The easiest shot to a world title that there could be. So, let's get it.
Well, I saw Sam Jones tweet today that a
Mm.
massive fight has been penciled over on his side of things. Obviously, you've just mentioned about
Yeah.
Lloyd Ritson. I saw in a comment someone put OD against Ritson. Has it been signed? Has it been confirmed?
I can't say yet. I can't say. But if Sam Jones spoke about massive fight, it wasn't Lewis Ritson against me. It was probably somebody else because I don't believe me and Lewis Ritson is a massive fight. It's a big fight, but it's not a massive fight. So if you're talking about a massive fight, it must be somebody else. But the Lewis Ritson fight will happen, I believe. I believe that fight will be next for me. And if it's in London, I don't mind. If it's in Newcastle, I'll knock him out in front of his fans. He talks too much, that guy, Lewis Wilson. He talks too much.
All right, well, let's move on. I saw your tweet today. A lot of people, obviously, you've been quite
Yeah,
vocal about Anthony Joshua before, and I think
yeah,
fair enough. In the past, Anthony Joshua was this guy, who everyone was like, when he was unbeaten with his knockout ratio, he never had any doubters. Obviously, since the Ruiz loss, more and more doubters, and especially now after, the two Usyk losses, granted, he was better in that Usyk second fight. Still someone who's done a massive, massive job for British
yeah.
boxing. And
Mm,
we will come on to the potential possibilities of a Fury fight, but obviously just your thoughts on that for me, if you can.
I think so many people have turned their back on him, on AJ. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about guys in the boxing industry that know him personally. Like you're good mates with this guy, and you're coming online saying this and that about him. I look at what that Robert Garcia said about he just lost heart. This guy had you as a fucking coach in his camp. And as soon as the fight started, you want to go online and talking about he's got no heart, he lost heart, he had no will to fight. Shut your fucking mouth, mate. You keep that stuff in your camp. You keep that stuff in your circle. You don't go online to the press and to the newspapers and start saying, my fighter lost heart. Fuck. So even like other people in this boxing industry, I don't really want to name names, but people that are mates with him, people that I like his fans and his friends and see him and they take all their pictures with him and I mean they're online saying the complete madness about him. I'm like, you believe in him, keep on believing in him. Just because he got beat by Usyk, he fought a good fight against Usyk. The first fight was a good fight. The second fight was an even better fight.
Pound for pound number one as well.
AJ fought a good fight against him and he almost won the fight. But when people ask me what went wrong, like with AJ, what went wrong in his team, why did he get beat? I'm just like, he fought a fight and the better man won. In the better one, there ain't nothing about this went wrong with that went wrong. Nothing went wrong. He fought a good fucking fight. He had a great camp. He's got a good team. Angel Fernandez got a great coach. What happened is that he fought a fight and that the better man won. That's what boxing is. A against the B. One wins and one doesn't win. And just because everyone expected AJ to win and he didn't win, people thinking what went wrong is it his coach? No, it was nothing. Shut your mouth. He fought a good fight and the better man won. Simple. But I got people saying a complete madness about him. I look at these things and I'm just like, man, I mean, this boxing industry is mad. Madness. It's not like football. In football, when you win, lose, or draw, your fans, they'll back you. They're buying that season ticket every fucking season. It's only in boxing. They love you, you get beat once, and you're garbage. It's madness.
Well, let's move on to the Joshua Fury fight. One
Mhm.
that sort of has come round. I suppose I'll start with, are you surprised at how quickly this fight's came around? Because we've seen in the past for these mega fights, we've only got to look at like Errol Spence Jr. against Terence
Yeah.
Crawford. That's been something that's been spoken about for so long. When you've got contracting broadcasters, promotional outlets, you always want your guy to be the A side. From what Eddie said, he said, look, Tyson Fury's team gave me the contracts. They tried to negotiate. They said, look, no negotiations. And Joshua 258, they've said, all right, cool, December the 3rd at the Principality. Do you think that's a wise move for AJ, given obviously he's coming off the loss of two fights, but I suppose he's always wanted that Fury fight. And who knows what will happen if, in a year down the line, 2 years down the line. Do you feel like now's the time he has to take it?
No, AJ can do what he wants. AJ's a cash cow. He makes a hell of a lot of money. He can do what the hell he wants. And I believe that whatever he's got going on in his mind, whatever he wants to do, he will do. And if he thinks he can take this fight in December, then let him go for it. Do I think it's a bit too early? If it was me, it would be too early for me. But that's me. I'm not AJ. AJ's AJ. So I can't say if it's a bit too early for him. No one can say if it's a bit too early for him because you're not him. And unless you are him, you don't know him. You don't know the guy. Do you see him in the gym every day? Do you sleep next to him? Do you know him personally? Do you see him every day and talk to him every day? No, you don't. So you can't say if it's a bit too early for him or not because you don't know the guy. Now it's a madness. People saying it's a bit too early for him. It's a bit too early. No, it'll be too early for you. but that's you.
Yeah.
So I can't comment on it. If it was me, would it be too early for me? Probably not. I thought Taylor, I got beat in June, July, and in October, I fought another person for another belt in his hometown again. Just that I went to Taylor's hometown, got beat, went to this guy's hometown, and I won. People would have been saying, "I don't know what the hell I want to do," but because it was me doing it on a much smaller scale, no one had anything to say. But because AJ's doing it on a much bigger scale, everyone's got something to say. But mate, this has been done many times. Many times, someone got beat and then they fought again a few months later. Like, come on, let the guy do what he wants. And even if it hasn't been done, AJ can be the first. The guy wants to dare to be great. He's like AJ's not got the mindset. I want to pick my fights. I want to handpick my fights, and I'm only going to fight this person if I'm going to win. Like, no, AJ's got a fighter's mindset, a warrior's mindset, and it's only when you haven't got the mindset that's when fans say, "Ah, oh, he hasn't got the fighter's mindset. He only wants to cherry pick opponents and blah blah blah." And when a fighter does come that has got that mindset, they say bad things about him.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Do you think there's a sense of hypocrisy within sort of boxing fans, and I suppose
Man, these boxing fans, they bipolar as fuck. And they don't know what they're fucking talking about. They're confused. They're confused and they're bipolar. No matter what a fighter does, they'll have bad things to say about him. If AJ said, next fight, I want to fight a journeyman, they'll say, Usyk beating now, he's going back to fighting bums and journeyman. He wants to fight the best? He's too early to fight the best. Come on, man. You can't please these guys. That's why from the start, I said, fuck the fans. And I still say, fuck the fans now. I ain't got fans. I'm not loved by the fans. I don't give a fuck because these people ain't gonna love me anyway. It don't matter what I do, they're gonna find some bad shit to say about me. So I might as well give them a reason to say some bad shit about me, which is why my mindset has been the way that it is.
fair play. Moving on to sort of another big fight that we've got in the UK here. Obviously, we've got Conor Benn, who steps up against Chris Eubank
Yeah.
Jr. at a 157-pound catchweight. A fight that sort of the British public have really got their teeth into. The face done really well on social media. Obviously, we saw Chris Eubank Sr. come out and say, look, the fight's off. I won't have my son fighting at 157 pounds. I caught up with Harlem Eubank today. He said, that's not the case. It's junior and senior are two different spirits. I caught up with Callum Sowland yesterday and he was like, look, the contract ain't with senior, the contract's with junior. The fight is on. But do you understand senior's points?
To be honest, everyone's saying about Senior said what he said. Is there any footage of him actually saying it?
It was an article and an interview to a certain paper. I wouldn't be able to tell you what one. I don't think it was a live interview as such. I think it was a sit down with one of the written press.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know if he said that. I doubt he even said that. The press, they can make up what they want. But even if he did say that, the fight is going to happen. The contracts have all been signed, and I think it's just to sell the fight. He's a good businessman. He knows what he's doing. Chris Eubank Senior and also Nigel Benn are both. So they're both on tour. People don't know they're actually going on tour.
Yeah.
Then they're calling it Chris Eubank Senior, Nigel Benn, the face off. They're going on tour to about 8 different cities, and there's more to come. They're going to fucking Coventry, Birmingham, this place and that place. They're selling it, and this rivalry sells. It sold back then, and it's still going to sell now. They're going on fucking tour to do a face-off, to make it seem as if that rivalry is still there when they don't like each other. They're both grown men. Nigel Benn loves him. Chris Eubank Senior loves him. They're both mates. They both like each other. But mate, it makes money. It makes sense. If they have to go on tour and act like they hate each other, it's still gonna sell. It still makes money. Boxing's fucking pantomime. This shit is all pantomime. We act and you buy it. Just like we go out to the local theater and you watch people act. You sit down and you watch a film. You know what the filming is not real, but you still buy into it. Boxing's an act. That's what it is. It's an act, and that rivalry sold back then, and it's still going to sell now. And the two sons, their dad's rivalry sold back then, which is why for now this fight sells, and the fight sells on a big scale. And I believe the fight it will go ahead. If Chris Eubank Senior said that, it's just to help. It's just to not help sell the fight because this fight is already sold, but it gets everyone else talking about the fight, because that slight uncertainty gets everyone's mouths talking about the fights and gets their mind also thinking about the fight. The weight's not an issue for Chris Eubank Jr. Chris makes weight fine. He's been out eating fucking KFC, bucket of bones, and out in this place having some cake muffin or whatever
I
he had.
saw that, yeah.
I was with Chris Eubank Jr. and his dad before the George Groves fight. Before the George Groves fight, a day before the weigh-in, I was out with him. Me, Chris Eubank Sr., Chris Eubank Jr., and a few of our mates. We was up in some restaurant in Manchester. Eubank Jr. was eating good. The day before he got weighed in, he was eating good. He had a good meal there. I think it was pasta, something like that, spaghetti or something like that. And his dad said to me, I remember talking to his dad, his dad said to me, mate, my son ain't had sex in 8 weeks. And I know Chris said he ain't having sex for 2 weeks for this fight. Do you believe that shit? I don't believe that shit. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to take this fight so seriously, because he's got more to lose than what Ben's got to lose. If Ben goes and he gets beat, everyone says, you know what? We loved Ben before and we still love him. He's a younger guy, more inexperienced, smaller guy who came up in weight and he dared to be great, and he came up short against someone that fought for a world title, against someone much more bigger than him. He dared to be great. He's got nothing to lose and he will come back. If Chris Eubank Jr. gets fucking beat, the fans don't like him anyway. They will slate him and they will slander him, not for the rest of his whole boxing career, but for the rest of his life. They will slate and they will slander that guy. So he's doing everything he can to win this fight. I know he's putting up this thing, bucket of bones and this or that. Mate, most fighters are allowed one cheat day every week, or you're allowed one cheat meal every week. With me, I have one cheat day every week. And on that cheat day, I can have a bit of fun. I can have one bucket. I can go KFC and get a bucket of bones and just have one. Come on. I'm put on camera the rest of it. Come on. Boxing fans, I don't know. These boxing fans, I don't know, man. They believe everything they see. They believe everything they see. They believe everything they hear. It's actually mad. It's fucking pantomime. The fighters that make the most money are the ones that know how to act, the ones that know how to play the game right.
Well,
Is Chris Eubank Jr. getting is he getting into Conor Ben's head? Hell no. Hell no. I know Conor. I know Conor well. I know that what Chris Eubank is doing is not getting into his head, even though he might be trying to. We all know it's not getting into Conor's head, but it's making the fans talk. It's making the fans talk. So that's the aim of the game.
Well, OD, as always, an absolute pleasure. Hopefully catch you in person next time, whether that be your next fight or down and around in London. Just a final message, please.
Fuck y'all. No, joking. Thank you guys for listening to me talk. If you got this far, look forward to my next fight, and I'm a win.
OD, thank you for speaking to me at Boxing Social.